Language, well, it's our most powerful tool, isn't it? But it can also be just a constant source of profound confusion, sometimes even conflict.
Oh, absolutely. Think about how many arguments, at work or just in life, kick off simply because we're not actually on the same page about what the words mean.
Yeah, it's a huge problem. And these misunderstandings, they aren't just annoying, right? They can actually hold things back. Science, philosophy.
Right down to just chatting with someone.
Exactly. And this is precisely what C.K. Ogden and I.A. Richards really dug into way back in 1923 with The Meaning of Meaning.
Groundbreaking stuff. Still relevant. Totally.
So today we're doing a deep dive into their insights, how they can maybe change how you think about communication. Their whole goal was to sort of untangle the verbal knots that mess things up.
Yeah. And they jump right in tackling what they call the naive view of language. This common idea that words have some kind of direct line to the things they represent.
Like the word dog just automatically is the furry thing.
Exactly that kind of assumption. But they say, hold on, it's not that simple.
So how does it work then, according to them, if dog isn't directly the animal?
Well, they introduced this famous idea, the triangle of meaning. You've got the symbol, that's the word itself, like dog. Then you've got the reference. That's the actual thing in the world, the furry creature.
Right?
But the connection between the symbol and the referent, they argue, is totally indirect. It has to go through the third point of the triangle, the thought, or what they call the reference, our mental concept.
So our mind makes the connection. The word triggers a thought, and the thought points to the thing, not the word. Straight to thing.
Precisely. And when we forget that middle step mental act, well, that's where the problems start.
Like this word magic idea you mentioned.
Yeah, exactly. They call it verbal superstition too. It's this old, almost primitive idea that just saying a name gives it power. Or even make something exist.
Like chanting a word could make something happen.
Sort of, yeah. And they warn it's not just ancient history, it can creep into modern thought. Even making, quote, logicians become mystics because they get lost in their own verbal systems, forgetting the connection back to reality or the lack thereof.
That makes sense. You see that in meetings. Maybe people throwing around buzzwords like synergy or disruption.
Right? As if saying the word does the thing, forgetting the actual work or the concrete meaning behind it.
And Ogden and Richards also point out we often don't even try for accuracy, do we? Language is just a handy tool.
A ready instrument is their phrase. Sometimes we just grab the easiest phrase, the one that feels handy, even if it's vague.
Prioritizing ease over being clear, which naturally leads to more misunderstandings.
It really does. And this leads into another key point. Language does different jobs. It's not all about stating facts.
Okay, like what?
They make a big distinction between the symbolic use, using words to make statements, to refer to things, aiming for truth or falsity.
Like the cat is on the mat. That's symbolic, right?
And the emotive use, that's about using words to express or evoke feelings, attitudes, moods.
So poetry, for example. It uses words, symbols, but often the main goal isn't literal truth. It's the feeling it creates.
Exactly. The arrangement might look symbolic, but the effect is emotive. It's about stirring attitudes. And we do this all the time in normal conversation too, often without thinking.
Try and persuade or comfort or just vent.
Uh-huh. And then building on this, there's the context. They included work by Bronislaw Malinowski.
Oh yeah, the anthropologist, that's him.
He studied language in non-Western cultures and stressed that meaning often completely depends on the context of situation.
You can't just look it up in a dictionary.
Not at all. His example was something like paddle in place, meaning to arrive at the overseas village. It really makes sense if you understand the specific cultural activity, the whole situation.
Wow. So context is everything. And there's another social angle too, right? This phatic communion.
Yes, that's fascinating. It's language used not to share ideas, but just to connect, to create social bonds, ease tension.
Like saying nice day today.
Precisely. You're not usually making a meteorological report. You're just opening a channel, being sociable, breaking the silence. It's about fellowship.
It makes you wonder how much of our daily chatter is actually phatic.
Quite a bit, probably. And the flip side of all this? The impact of getting meaning wrong. It can be serious.
How so?
Well, the book gives examples from science, even medicine. They point out how doctors for a long time struggle to even define basic concepts like disease.
Really? That seems fundamental.
You'd think. But the lack of clear definitions, the reliance on potentially misleading terms, it hampered observation, made communication difficult, led to frankly useless debates.
Wow. Is there a specific case they mentioned?
Yes, the example of Heinemann disease, which we now often just call polio. For a while, there were different names: poliomyelitis, polio, encephalitis, encephalitis lethargica. And because doctors clung to these separate names, these rigid verbal distinctions, they resisted seeing the underlying connections, even when evidence suggested it might be essentially related conditions or aspects of one thing. The words got in the way of the science.
So the labels actually blocked understanding. That's quite sobering.
It really is. It shows how words aren't just passive labels. They shape how we categorize, how we think, and ultimately what we discover or fail to discover.
So tying this all together, what's the big takeaway for us, for the listener?
I think it's about being more conscious, understanding that words have these different lives: symbolic, emotive, social, and that their meaning often hinges on context and our own mental references. It's key for clearer thinking ourselves, and definitely for better communication.
Right? Being aware of the traps, the potential for word magic, or just lazy usage.
Exactly. Which leads to maybe a final thought for you listening. If even simple words have this much complexity, this much potential for confusion, what dangerous words? What Ogden and Richards might call nomads' terms without a fixed home or meaning might be floating around in your daily life and your work, your beliefs, just causing, well, empty noise and jargon.